Hello again. This is part 2 of episode 11. I found myself in the office of an even younger doctor. This is a pulmonologist, an interventional pulmonologist. And we talked about my issues. He was charming. He was as nice as he could be. It turns out that my daughter even trained him for the MCAT. I can't believe that. And so here's the deal. Yesterday I had a biopsy on this thing in my chest. Now, friends, if you don't believe in God or a higher power, and you've been listening to my story, then you haven't been listening very carefully, because mine is a story of miracles, one after another, okay? He came into my room yesterday morning before the surgery, and he said, I need to be honest with you. This is going to be a very, very difficult biopsy. The location of it is not the way it was described in the report that I got from the other hospital. And I looked at it, I studied it very carefully, the actual PET scan. And I'm going to try really hard to get to all 3 of the nodes. And I said, 3? And he said, yeah, there seem to be 3 in there. And I'm really going to try, but this is going to be difficult. And I just have to tell you the truth. So, friends, you know that I sing the Ave Maria whenever I'm in trouble and whenever I have an exam. My necklace is itching me. I'm sorry about that. It's yucky. What I get for buying cheap stuff. But anyway, so I started singing the Ave Maria when they started wheeling me into the operating room, and I sang it until they had an oxygen mask on top of me, and my eyes were just falling totally asleep. I sang the Ave Maria to the top of my little hoarse lungs, because I'm still hoarse from that bronchitis. So I woke up afterwards, and he came and sat by my bed, and he put his hands like this and leaned on my bed, and he said, well, it is cancer. And I gulped, and I said, well, you thought it probably was. And he said, yeah. He said, but it wasn't 3. It's just 1, but I thought it was 3 because it's shaped like a kidney bean. I said, is it big? He said, no, it's not big, it's small. It's very small. But it's shaped like a kidney bean, so there are like 3 points to it. It's just 1. And he said, and I checked every single thing around it, all the lymph nodes everywhere. Oh, I forgot to tell you that it is a lymph node, and that they acted at the other hospital like I had known it was a lymph node. And I said, no, nobody ever told me anything about the word lymph node. I guarantee you I would remember lymph node. I'm not an uneducated patient. I know what a lymph node is and how serious. He said, I checked all the other lymph nodes, and he said, you're as clean as a whistle, and this thing is completely contained, completely. And so I believe that this is going to be perfectly fine, and you're going to live a long, long time. Now, my surgeon had told me when I last went into him, he said, now, even if this is cancer in your chest, and it's in the chest, it's next to my right lung, it's not in it, it's next to it. Even if it's cancer, I'm still going to do the surgery on you for 2 reasons. The first is palliative, and that's to prevent it from getting bigger, which it eventually would, and cause big problems. The second is for a cure, because I still believe I can completely cure you. Because if this thing in your lung is contained, or next to your lung is contained, we can shoot it with radiation. It's what we call oligometastasis, which means that yours doesn't spread. You're one of these rare people that metastasis usually implies a big spread all over the area. Yours doesn't. And so we can take it one at a time, and we do this. And I said, and are you saying that if you take out the rectum and the anus, the primary cancer, that you will weaken the possibility of more metastasis? Is that what you're thinking? He said, well, it's funny that you mentioned that. He said, that is a study we're doing right now. That's what we're trying to figure out, because it does appear that in some cases happens. Now, we don't know if it's because the surgery weakens the metastasis, or if because oligometastases occur in very healthy people like yourself, because you are extremely healthy otherwise. And so I'm going for a cure. So friends, I know I should be upset about the fact that I actually have a metastasis next to my lung, but I'm not. I'm elated. And I really believe that I'm on an amazing path here. Now, I want to share something with you before I go. And that is something in the last couple of years since I knew that I have metastasis and needed surgery. And not metastasis, I'm sorry. I knew I had recurrence and I needed surgery. I have been reading a devotional every night, okay? And so I'm turning this lamp around so you don't see the glare in my glasses because I'm too blind to read without it. But I've been reading a devotional out of a little book called Jesus Today and one called Jesus Always. I'm Christian. I'm Catholic. I have many of your followers that are Buddhists and some, I guess, that have been agnostic. I don't know that. I don't understand that, but I accept it. And many people are Christian. I'm not a preaching kind of a Christian, okay? You believe the way you want to believe, and I accept you and love you. You've got to live with yourself, whatever it is. But I read this. The night before I went in for the biopsy, this was what I read. Now, normally they're just little generic, trust in me, remember I'm with you always, those kind of things, okay? But this was what I read the night before the biopsy. Trust me here and now. You are in rigorous training on an adventurous trail designed for you alone. This path is not of your choosing, but it is my way for you. I'm doing things you can't understand. That is why I say, trust me. The jungle is thick and you cannot clearly see what is before you, behind you, or beside you. Cling to my hand as you follow this trail in shadowy darkness. Although you cannot see me, my presence is with you. It's rock-solid reality. Find hope in me, beloved, for I am taking care of you. Focus on enjoying me and all that I am to you, even though your circumstances scream for resolution, and don't they, really? Refuse to obsess about your problems and how you are going to fix them. Instead, affirm your trust in me. Wait hopefully in my presence and watch to see what I will do. I turned around, I read this to my husband because he's not of a persuasion to do or care about anything like this, but he did. Now I want to share something else. So it turned out to be pretty prophetic for me. I want to share something else with you. The night after we met the new surgeon, we were having dinner out, and we started talking about how amazing all this was. And we wondered if he had, in fact, studied with the surgeon I had been going to go to because he seemed to know about him. And so we Googled them together. My new surgeon has 5 stars plus on every level in every area. The other one, 4.8. But as we scrolled down a little bit, we learned that the other one, the older man who was going to cut me wide open and who had not looked at my chart or my PET scan, several years ago he left a towel wrapped around a man's intestines during a colon surgery for 78 days. He went to court and had to pay that man $400,000. It was several years ago. But with the negligence that I feel he showed me, everyone can make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I know that everyone makes mistakes and we have to learn by our mistakes. And hopefully he did and has never made another one. But the way I was treated really made me think that it could happen again with me. So my admonishment to you today is no matter who tells you a doctor is a great doctor when you're sick and when you need one, you do your due diligence on him yourself. You got Google for a reason. Look him up. Find out everything you can. Don't take somebody's word. Find out what this person is all about and what he has been all about before you give your body to him. Okay? Now, this has been a long session, and I love you very dearly. I'll check in before I go to surgery, and I'll be singing Tushy Goodbye. And remember, I may have cancer. It does not have me. Bye.